Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I was at the thrift store this morning and I made a few purchases. Here is what I got today. I got this Cascade pot for $2.99. I got a ceramic dragon, which is quite nice. That was $3.79. I got this bamboo wooden base, $3.49. It's a nice piece of bamboo. Could display something on there. And I got this background, this Japanese scenery. That was $4.29. So it's black on the back and bright on this color. So that could be like a background for a tree at a show or something. Yeah. I also got a wooden table while I was doing papers this morning. This was at the side of the curb for free. I'll show you that. Here is a look at the table. It's had the finish stripped off of it, so it's just kind of raw wood right now. And it would look good if I cut the legs off either here or maybe here. Probably here. And it's the right size to fit my Ficus microcaropa up here. So I just kind of lucked out with that, seeing it at the curb. So I'll have to come up with a finish for it. Either, linseed oil or varnish. Something on it. Just to waterproof it a bit and give it a bit of a finish. Outside here, my northern bog forest is getting fall colors on the larches. So it's not real spectacular, but you can kind of see the intent of the bright colored larches with the background of the dark spruce. So that's kind of what it's looking like in fall. All the old needles are falling off the pine here, and it's just covering the ground with pine needles. And it's also covering all my trees in this area. They're just getting needles all over them. I just cleaned these ones off, and I'm sure I'll have to do it again. I was trying my thuja root over rock planting on top of this black stand, and it's not bad. It's a good size for it. Kind of, the color's not bad, being dark and black. Yeah, I think it's a better display stand than when I had it on in the KW show. We have 2 more days left of this warm spell, and then it starts getting cool. So I'll have to bring some of the trees inside. But I try and keep them out as long as possible. I go right down to about 5 degrees Celsius with most of my trees before I bring them in. I've been getting some nice fall colors on some of the trees. The oaks and the ash trees and the maples. I've been doing some work in the plant room here. I've got my upper shelf built here, so I can put trees on the floor, on the first shelf, and the second shelf up here. I have a lot of grow lights that were donated to me here that'll be hanging underneath the shelves to give the trees lots of light. It's kind of dark in the back of the room here in the wintertime, so that'll help them out a lot. On this scaffolding here, I've got to build another shelf to go up on top of that one, similar to this one. And I should have enough room for all my trees. I sure hope so. I've got a lot of cleaning out to do in the plant room here. I've got all my stands for the shows in here. So I store those in the back of the pickup truck for the winter. It's got a capper on it and they stay nice and dry. Yeah, so I'll be working on that in the next couple of days, getting this room all cleaned up, the lights hung, the shelves built, getting ready for winter. You can see on my thuja here all the pine needles that fall down on top of the trees. So I'm forever cleaning those away. So this spring I'll be planting this old tree into its own pot. It's getting some nice style and shape to it. It's quite an old tree too. Probably the oldest in my collection. I've got out the saw, so I'm going to cut the table legs down. So here I go. And I think right here is a good point. I think. Maybe I'll go here. Make it a little higher. And there I go. One bonsai table now. It's a shame to cut furniture in half, but it's better it gets used than just thrown out on the curb. So let's see what the tree looks like on the stand now. Here's a look at the tree on the stand. The size of the stand is really good. It fits it nicely all the way around. And I think it's a good weight. I think it makes the pot stand out a bit more, but as I said, you know, once the tree fills in more, grows, it'll make the pot look less massive. But yeah, I'm very happy with that. I think that works as a display stand. The tree I'll be working on today is a Ficus microcaropa, my very first bonsai that I grew from a seed. I'm really happy with how the root base is looking. I'm starting to get some fusion this year between the roots. They're thickening up and giving a nice tapered buttress root base, looking very miniature. I defoliated this tree in early summer, and it's grown in really nicely over the summer, and it needs a pruning before it goes back inside for the winter. The tree was pruned up quite nicely in spring after defoliation, so all this growth is new. I'm going to try pruning back all the new shoots to the first pair of leaves and see how the tree looks. It should come out a nice umbrella shape. It'll be a test to see how well my directional pruning was when I last pruned it. So here I go, reducing everything back to the first pair of leaves. So from the shoot here, like that. Prune this one, and I'll be using directional pruning. If the first set of leaves isn't growing a good direction, I'll leave it a little longer and prune to a leaf that's facing the direction I want the branch to grow. And I'm leaving all the branches on for now, and then we'll come in and decide what needs pruning. We are due to get rain today. I'm not sure when that's going to start, but it sure is warm and humid out. So it could rain any time. So generally I'm pruning to downward facing leaves if possible to get a nice flowing branch structure. Around the back of the tree I have a lot of growth coming down low that I don't want, so I'm going to prune all that away. I don't want it suckering from the root base, creating sort of a clump style tree. So I'll prune all these lower shoots away. There's a weed in here I want to get rid of if possible. Got it by the roots, that's good. It's one of those weeds that spreads. I've got a lot of stubs from those branches that I'll need to clean out. I don't want bulges on the root base if possible, but that's got it cleaned up for now. Now there's one a little higher here I want to remove too. Looking up at the tree, you can see there's some new branches growing out the back here that I don't believe I want. Just going to look from the front. See, I already have my major branches coming out from the tree at that level. I do need something in this direction. And I think I left something growing last time. And I believe it was one of these ones here. So I'm going to prune off this lowest one. Like that. And then I'll prune off this new shoot there. And this one can come off. And this is the one I kept here. So I'll just clean it up. I'll take off the upwards growth there. And I'll keep this shoot, it's in the light, and I'll prune off this one. Like that, and this one too. And there's one in here. So that cleans it up, leaving just the one branch there. So if I want to keep that, it's there, it's available. So that cleans up the underside of the tree. While I've got the tree turned around to the back, I'll continue the pruning. I have the tree planted in a large training pot sent to me by the Bonsai Supply. So thanks very much, Mari and Jerome. And the reason I'm doing that is I want the roots to run out really long. And I think that gives you, instead of the root being round, it kind of makes it an oval shape. So it's higher than it is wider. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm not sure I'm seeing it much yet, but I'm hoping it develops like that in the future. Maybe you can see it on this root a bit. It's kind of higher than it is wider. It's starting to get that oval shape, which is characteristic of a mature ficus. I've got most of the new shoots pruned back now, and the shape is better, but it's not there yet. I have to do some selective pruning to thin out the canopy. There's a lot of places where branches have grown in where I have it dividing from 1 to 3, so I'll need to reduce some of those whorls back to dividing 1 to 2, selecting branches that I want and removing the ones I don't. For this process, I'll be following each branch up, seeing how it divides and selectively pruning it. So here I go. I'm going to start with my thick branch off to the left-hand side here. So I'm looking at the structure. I have a nice flat branch here, and then I have an upwards part growing here. So it's dividing, one is flat and the other one's growing upwards. Now I can remove that upwards one. I've just got to see what my flow looks like without that branch. I think it would look good. I think it would create some space between the branches, which is always important. So here I go, a big cut coming up, pruning off this upwards growth. Just like that, taking that whole branch off. So you can see how it clears up some space in between the branches there. There's one growing in here back towards the middle of the tree. I'll take that one out. There's another one sticking straight out front. I'll take that out. There's another branch in between these two branches that's kind of cluttering it up. I'll take that one out. I could even take this branch off. Trying to decide if I should or not. It would really flatten this branch out. I think I need something flowing upwards. I do have the one back here. I'll leave it on for now. I'll make my decision later. So looking at this structure again, I've got a third branch growing here that I need to prune away. Again, cleaning out the structure. There's one growing straight up here I can take away. It's always difficult decisions on trees. There's one going upwards here. I can take the upwards part off, shortening it. There's one growing back in on the tree here. I'll take that one off. So everything's fanning outwards nicely. I've got a new shoot growing in here. I can take that one out. It's growing in between the branches. And And I have one growing from here. I can take that one out also. And there's one growing out the front here on this branch. I can take that off. So that's really cleaning up the structure now. You can see the branch structure, which is nice. I have a branch growing straight up here. I'll take that one out. And this one, even though it reaches out quite far, it's quite straight, and I have an opportunity to shorten it to a downward facing branch, so I'll do that. Like that. I'll prune this one back. And I'll prune this one back. Again, flattening out that branch structure. So I'm creating, layers so light and air can get in here to keep the tree healthy. There's another branch going straight out front here. I'll take this one off. Like that. So you can really see the branch structure now. Here is a look at the tree now. So you can see all the thinning I've done on those branches. This one may still reach up a little far. I think I've got to prune it back. It's kind of out of the profile. So I'll take it back to here. That helps a bit. It's still a little long, but I could take this one back to here. Helps a bit. Tip off there. Maybe shorten this one a bit. That helps. Kind of gives it more of an umbrella-shaped canopy. And there's one at the back too I can take out. A new little branch. This one grows back in towards the tree. I'll take that one out. There's a vertical one here I can remove. I'll continue to prune up the tree, looking at the structure, deciding which branches to remove, which ones to keep, which ones to shorten, cleaning up the structure. So I'll work away at the tree, then we'll come back and see what it looks like. I have finished the pruning. Here's what I took off. A lot of branches. So let's have a look at the tree now. The tree is much more open now. I'm starting to get a lot of horizontal branches, and then off of those I'll get branches that eventually start drooping, extending the canopy into that umbrella shape. It'll be quite exciting developing it into the future, this tree. It's hard to believe that it grew from a seed. It's starting to get quite mature. The rain still hasn't come yet, so I'm going to give the tree a thorough watering with a little bit of fertilizer in the water. All right, here I go. Here's a close-up of the root base, how it's developing. It's coming along really nicely. I'm really happy with it. I will have to subdivide some of the roots in the future. There'll be more work coming on this tree. but I'm excited to continue to develop it. Here's a look at my 2 recently pruned up Ficus microcarpa, Ficus Fancy, and the one I grew from a seed. It's always exciting pruning up my ficus, going from a big dome of green to seeing the individual branch structure, something I can develop into the far future. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.